Will the chairman yield?
Mr. Farrell yields.
Denny, going to the New York Power Authority section with the, we're giving 77 million for the Empire State Trail Network.
That's, yes,
Well, what we're really doing is taking 77 million from the Power Authority, correct? For this?
but it's capital. It's capital money we're doing it with.
Well, my note says that $77 million is coming from the Power Authority.
Yeah, we're using them, we're financing them through the commission, through the, what you said.
Through the Power Authority.
Yeah,
We're
through
giving-
the bond. Yeah, but
we're
but the
giving
money
them-
is coming from the bonding, not the bonding, but from the monies we use for capital.
Okay, and last year, there was a suit from the truckers against the governor over the using the money from the tolls, right, to fund the Erie Canal. And last year, we turned the canal over to the New York Power Authority, correct?
Yes,
And the New York Power Authority, their main purpose is to generate electricity, which they put into the grid, and they sell to municipalities, municipal electrics, and other electric companies, right?
right, yeah.
And that's their main function. And this year's budget, we haven't turned the canal over to the DEC, have we? So the New York Power Authority is still in charge of the canal?
Yes, they have a lot of land, yeah.
So basically, this is a backdoor tax from the ratepayers to
No.
operate. Well,
No, if we're using it for revenue, from our monies that we're using for capital, I don't consider that,
well, you're saying that's the 77 million just for the trail,
yeah.
but the operation of the canal is paid for by the New York Power Authority, the
Yeah.
revenues that they bring in.
Yes.
Because every year the governor was taking $90 million.
Yeah, oh, yeah, but they're making the money. So it's not a tax, it's a cost
All right, where are they
It's a
making money?
profit.
Where
No.
are they making the money from then?
from this, from the power.
And they're charging for the power,
Yes, and they get money.
for the electric. And then what we're doing is we're taking the money that the ratepayers are paying for the power,
Yes,
right? And we have them funding the canal. So that would be a backdoor tax, wouldn't you agree?
no,
Okay. The money from the canal
the money from the canal,
has nothing to do with generating electricity,
no,
okay? And what happens is where the New York Power Authority gets their money is from selling electricity.
yes,
And what they're doing is that in their budget, right, they have to operate the canal, correct?
yes, they control it,
Okay.
yes.
And the canal's not bringing in any money. The canal is actually, they're paying for the canal.
Yes,
Okay. So where they're getting the money to pay for the canal is from the cost of electricity. Would you agree with that?
yeah, from the cost, yes,
Okay. And where the cost of electricity is being, basically who's paying the cost of electricity are the ratepayers in their electric bills.
so the people who are buying the energy,
Right. So it's the ratepayers.
yeah, they're the ratepayers, yes.
Right. So the ratepayers who are buying electricity in New York State through their electric bills are actually funding the canal.
No, they're buying energy. What happens afterwards is, their business, right?
Okay. Basically, what's happened, when they have their budget, Denny, their revenue that comes in,
Yeah.
the ratepayers are paying it, they're overcharging, they're charging us in their budgets and how much they charge us for electricity. they're taking in consideration how much money it costs them to run the canal, correct?
When they're doing the work, they're putting the energy out there at a certain price, and when it comes back after they sell it, and they make a profit, that profit is for what they want to use it for.
Right. And, well, when they're doing their budget and they're figuring out how much they're going to charge us per kilowatt, okay, they're factoring in to that cost, the cost of them operating the canal.
I couldn't answer that question because I doubt that very much. They probably do it based on the price of energy and for them what it costs to put it together. And then they say that's what we're going to charge. And if it makes a profit, that profit is used to do other things.
Okay, so let's say if they charge us the right price for electricity and they did make a profit that year, right? Then would they be able to say, sorry, we can't pay for the canal this year?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So therefore, the ratepayers are paying for the canal.
That's a matter of English, and I'm not very good in English.
Okay. All right. Now, Denny, just to clarify this, if we were to put the canal under the DEC, then it would have had to come out of the state budget, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And now, because we didn't put it under the DEC, right, the state budget isn't paying for the canal.
No.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Denny.
Thank you.
On the bill.
On the bill, Mr. Graf.
I mean, years ago, the governor jumped up and down. He talked about the super energy highway. He talked about his LIPER Act, which he totally screwed up, okay? And he wanted to bring down the cost of electricity. Just to give people an idea of what's happening in my county, pays over $1 million a month for electricity, right? My two towns, one pays close to $500,000 per month. The other one's paying $400,000 a month. My school district pays approximately $250,000 per month for electricity. Right? These all go right to the property taxes. And they wonder, and not to mention the businesses that are paying a fortune for electricity, and the homeowners, and the senior citizens who have to choose between food and paying their electric bill. And year after year, the governor puts more and more proposals in place that actually increase the cost that they're paying for electricity. They don't decrease it. I mean, if you want to create jobs in New York, this is one of the driving factors. If you want to bring down the property taxes, this is another driving factor. But year after year since I've been here, the governor continues to rape the New York State Power Authority, right? And keep stealing money out of them in order to do a backdoor tax that the ratepayers have to pay each year. I mean, personally, I think this is unconscionable, right? I think the governor is playing games here. NYPA, whose main job is to create electricity, has no business running a canal, and the only reason that the canal is under NYPA is so the governor doesn't have to put this in his budget. So, you know, I've been talking about this, and for the last 6 years, I've been pointing out in the budget for the last 6 years the little games that the governor is playing here. And I just think that for the sake of the taxpayers, we have to push back on this, and for the ratepayers, and for the senior citizens and the new people that are trying to buy a house and afford to live in New York. You wonder why we're losing population? This is one of the reasons. So with that, though there are things in the bill that I do like, right, I can't support this when the governor refuses, after sitting there making speeches about how he was going to lower the cost of electricity, does everything in his power to do the complete opposite. So unfortunately, though, there's a lot of stuff in this bill that I do like. I can't support this legislation. Thank you.